I'm basically telling you that at any point in time in the course of doing your export business, you will either be at the point of preparation to get started, and this particular phase, you will, if you are shipping for the first time, it's extremely important. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to export, but this time around, how to export processed agro product. It could be processed food, but processed agro product in general. And by that I mean regular food. I export, for example, I export processed food, I export pap, I export noodles, I export cassava flakes, or that I call gari, and a number of other agro products. So I'll be teaching you today about how to export this item. So let's start. How to export processed food for export market. How to export processed food. How to export processed agro product, not necessarily food. Agro product, not necessarily food. Irrespective of whether it is food or not, how to export processed agro product. How to export processed agro product. So in this case, you'll be looking at any agro product from spices to noodles to gari, cassava flakes, to granite, cookies, what some people will call kuli-kuli, different cassava product, different agro product. The principle is the same. What is the first thing you need to know if you want to export processed agro product? Number one is preparation. What does it mean to prepare? To prepare to export ready. What is export readiness? A multifaceted concept that involves the ability of a company to successfully enter the export market, sustainably compete in the market, and significantly grow its market share until it becomes established in the market. Successfully enter, sustainably compete, significantly grow. Successfully enter, sustainably compete, significantly grow. So let's assume I want to export which product now? Give me a product. Which processed food item? Give me a product. Okay, let's say roasted granite or roasted cashew nut. Let's see roasted cashew nut. Roasted cashew nut. Roasted cashew nut. Roasted cashew nut. Roasted cashew nut is what we are looking at as a processed agro product. Now, at the point of preparation, I'm learning everything learnable about processed cashew nut. Who are those that buy? Where do they buy from? What are the parameters required? Specification? What is the potential market size? What are the documentation required? What are the pricing details? What are the pitfalls and issues with it? I must know every information about cashew nut, processed cashew nut. If I don't do that at the point of preparation, I am not adequately prepared. If I don't do that at the point of preparation, I am not adequately prepared. I need to be adequately prepared. When I'm adequately prepared, look at what that does for me. It helps me to be able to adequately promote. After preparation is done, I can start promotion because I already have a product. I can start promotion because I already have a product. Promotion. What happened at the point of promotion? I want to get a buyer to take a buying decision about my cashew nut. So for example, there are a lot of buyers of cashew nut in North America. So I'm targeting United States, for example. At the point of preparation, I know my product will need FDA, Food and Drug Administration certification. I need FDA permit or license certification for me to enter the US market. I will have known that at the point of preparation, and that will help me also at the point of promotion. The goal of promotion, by the way, is for me to be able to secure a purchase order. Is for me to be able to secure a purchase order and then negotiate pricing. Is for me to be able to secure a purchase order and negotiate pricing. Now, how do I even arrive at my pricing? At the point of preparation, I already know all the cost elements required for me to ship a container load of roasted cashew nuts to the US market. I have an idea of my product cost. I know the freight cost. I know the documentation cost. I know the terminal handling charge. I know the declaration fee. I know all the fees involved for me to be able to export this product. If I do not know those fees, I will not be able to negotiate pricing. And in another video, I'll be talking a lot about purchase order. I think it's going to be in the next video. I'll be talking about what should be the content of a purchase order. When you are going to export, what should be the content of a purchase order? I'm talking about that. Pricing. Now, I might be the producer of the roasted cashew nut. That means I will go and start production. I will go and start production. Or I go to procure, like me, I'm a marshal. So I will do procurement at this point. I will do procurement at this point. Production or procurement. Why production or procurement? Because contract is ready, time is ticking, I need to do the shipment very soon. I either do production or procurement. And if I'm a producer and I'm not able to meet that demand, I might have to do competition. Work with that's why I don't believe in competition. I believe in competition. Work with your competition to be able to get the product for you, because you are either competing or competing. And I recommend you do competition instead of competition. In competition, you can collaborate. When you are collaborating or cooperating and yet competing, that's competition. Why is competition necessary? At this point of production, sometimes to meet up with that demand, you might need competition. Then labeling and packaging. Labeling and packaging. Now, if they are producing for me, I might need them to put it in my own packaging material. It's a food item, right? I must ensure that it's opaque, particularly any oily product should be opaque. Light rays should not be able to enter through. If light rays enter through, it will increase oxidation level and make the product to deteriorate fast. Right? So, labeling. Nutritional facts will be stated, constituent will be stated, the name of the product itself, the batch number, the birth before date, the barcode, the address of the manufacturer, any allergen or any GMO use, all these details, including any certification. If you have ISO, put the sticker on it, put the stamp on it. If you have HACCP, hazard analysis and critical control point, put the detail on it. If you have NAFDAC, of course, you can't even export from Nigeria without putting the Nigerian National Food and Drug Administration and Control NAFDAC detail on it. After all those packaging details have been done, the next is pre-export documentation. Pre-export documentation. Pre-export documentation. Pre-export documentation. A pre-export documentation, I'm applying to export. That's the point NAFDAC will hook me. If I don't have NAFDAC, this is the time NAFDAC will stop me from shipping. If the item does not have NAFDAC number, there is no evidence that, look, this is the time I provide all the documentation required based on the law or regulation of the country I'm shipping from. Pre-export documentation. Now, why is this necessary? This will be used in the next phase. What happens in the next phase? The next phase after pre-export documentation is port clearance and inspection. The clearance is done by customs. In customs or border force. In some countries call them border force. Port clearance and inspection. Port clearance and inspection. Port clearance and inspection. Port clearance and inspection. Now, what happened in port clearance? The government agency is checking, is this product banned? If NAFDAC is going to bounce it, that's the time NAFDAC will bounce it in the case of Nigeria. That's when NAFDAC will bounce it. Why? They are checking. Then if it's prohibited for export, that's the point they are going to prevent it from going. Immediately the good is clear for export, then I do post-export documentation. Please note, pre-export documentation is for the regulators to meet the regulatory requirement of the country of shipment. Post-export documentation is to meet the regulatory requirements of the country of destination. Pre-export document. That is a document you need to present to the government. That's the document you need to present to the government before you ship. And the government agency check that you have a clean bill of health that you can go ahead and do the shipment. Pre-export document. Post-export document will be like a bill of lading, invoice, packing list, manufacturer certificate, certificate of analysis, and any other document that may be required. Then, now, why, immediately I finish post-export document, why this is on, remember post-export document is only issued when the good has left. So we now have port to port shipment. Port to port shipment. Port to port shipment. The good is going on by road, or is going on by rail, or is going on by ship, or is going on by air. Why this is on? The exporter send the shipping document via courier. So it's called presentation of document. Presentation of document. He send this document to the buyer or the buyer's bank. Like I said, the buyer, if it's open account or advance payment, or buyer's bank, if it is letter of credit or bill for collection. Remember, we're exporting raw cash, processed cashew nut. We have gotten now. You see, at this point also, I must already have the regulatory requirement at destination, because by the time the good arrive and there will be a second leg. Remember, here we have port clearance and shipment. We are at origin. Now we are going to have port clearance at destination. So here we are going to have port clearance at destination port, port clearance and inspection. They are inspecting to check if the good is allowed into the country. They are inspecting to check that the good, if possible, the good is allowed, but the quality of the good is in bad shape. Why is the quality of good in bad shape? Because the good deteriorated from load to destination. This happens a lot in commodities. If the container preparation is not well done, and the container preparation is not well done, so the container is not well protected. Container preparation is not well done, and because the container preparation is not well done, and they didn't put dry bag to absorb moisture in transit, the good there damaged before it gets to destination. Port clearance and inspection, and immediately the buyer is satisfied, we can have our payment done. Again, preparation to export cashew nut, roasted cashew nut, promotion to get buyer for cashew nut, purchase order agreement of signing and pricing of the cashew nut agreed, production or procurement depending on who I am, if I'm a merchant or manufacturer, packaging and labeling. Packaging and labeling. The intricacy of packaging of labeling is important because I'm tracing food. Pre-export documentation. Pre-export documentation, which is the document required to clear the good for export. Port clearance and shipment. So port clearance and inspection at the origin country. Then post-export documentation when the good is cleared for shipment. Port to port shipment is done while that is on. Presentation of document. Port clearance at destination, and afterwards you get paid as an exporter. So if you are seeing this, I've used the same model to explain exporting of solid minerals. I've used the same model to explain exporting of agro commodity. What this basically tells you is that export is based on principles. It's for you to be able to know where you are at point in time. What this chart does for you is about 12 stage chart. It lets you know where you are at that point in time. So I currently have 2 shipments on the way. One is at this point. No, one is at this point, port clearance and inspection, because shipment is yet to be done for us to do post clearance. The second one at the ship, we have done presentation of document. We are awaiting this point. I'm basically telling you that at any point in time in the course of doing your export business, you will either be at the point of preparation to get started, and this particular phase You will, if you are shipping for the first time, it's extremely important. Now, if you are not shipping for the first time, this phase and this phase might not be required all the time. In fact, most of the time you might start from this point. Why are you starting from this point? Because this phase 1 and 2, most of the time, if you are shipping the same product, will not be required again, because now I have a buyer. I just tell them I'm ready to ship, we agree on price, sign the purchase order, and off we go for the next shipment. I believe this video has been of more benefit to you. My name is Dela Imimbo, your export doctor. I hope to see you in the next video as we learn more about international trade with a lot of emphasis on export business. See you in the next video, and bye for now.